Yo, 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 what's up? Let's begin, because I want to get some stuff done today. We're still working on the activity texture, and for the last couple of days, I might have been a little bit too optimistic. So basically, I wanted to make this activity texture way more generalized than was probably possible, considering the performance constraints and stuff like that. I'm gonna get into it soon. Yo, what's up, Derek? And yo, what's up, Diggs, by the way? So basically what I thought about doing yesterday was to make this so generalized that the activity texture describes a 3D object in 3D space with velocity and also temporal information. And all of this I wanted to pack into a texture, 2D texture. And I was really hoping that there would exist some way to do it. We would probably lose some stuff, but yeah. And basically what I tried to solve was, I wanted to solve it like that because I wanted to have as much data as possible for when we later on try to apply this or utilize this activity texture in the water shader, grass shader, and so on and so on. But what I've been thinking about now is I might have been a little bit too optimistic, and I might need to take a step back and settle at something that actually makes sense. And so if we take a look at what I want to use this texture for, first of all, we're gonna have to have some 2D plane for which this data is relative. And if we take a look at what I want to do with this activity texture, it's affect snow, affect mud, affect grass, affect foliage, affect water, and maybe even base some of my AIs on movement here. And given that information, it's pretty apparent to me that when we save this data, activity data, we might want to save it relative to those planes that will be affected. So instead of having for a point in 2D space, instead of having a min height and a max height, instead what we could have is distance to ground plane and distance to water plane, and work with those values instead. So I think that's what we're gonna do. Right now we're printing min height here. I think we're gonna split this one into, or rework this one as height to ground, and then we're also gonna have a height to, or height difference, or distance to ground and distance to water plane, something like that. Yeah, I think that's the right choice to make. So let's see here. Yo, what's up, Gerard? How are you doing? I'm doing fine. I think I've settled on how I want to finally store this activity texture. Still open to changes, but I think I have a goal at least. How about you? How are you doing? So instead of doing this and this, we should be doing let's see here. So what I'm getting at is, fuck, will this be enough though? Oops. If we change this one to, do I still want a timestamp? I think so. It will probably be min distance to ground and min distance to water, but I don't know. And if we do min distance to ground and min distance to water, do we reset this one each frame or do we keep it? If we don't reset it, how could we make sure that we get the minimum distance? Because if we do blend up min, we're always, if it's already less in the texture, we're not going to write to the texture. So yeah, this might not be the best option either. What blending operations did we have? I'm trying to think if is this one really necessary? Like I'm thinking if we're close enough to the camera we might add some additional simulation to the texture instead. So we just add this and then simulate this one. But I don't know, maybe. Okay, let's wait with this one. I just need to... This one we still want. I think this... we definitely want this, even though... we might be simulating it eventually, but we might also just use it like it is. But this one still remains. How... How do I want to solve this? Min distance to ground, min distance to water might work, but like I would assume that the direction and strength we have here are related to whatever we have here. So if we change this one, we probably want to change this one and this one as well. But if we do it like that, we might get a... Like I want these to be... It's hard to decide. The best combination. This one and this one, definitely. Definitely. But this one and this one. And this one. Yo, what's up on me? Fuck, I still don't know about these two. I mean, I kind of check it on you every now and then. Nice to hear. Good morning, Geralt. Good morning. I'm trying to figure out if this is sufficient, what problems we might run into. Mean distance when we want to update it, when we don't want to update it. For instance, if we have min distance to ground, min distance to water, like no matter how I do this, no matter how I try to structure this data or select this data, whatever, it always seems to be the case that we're one off from having enough data. So maybe okay, what I'm wondering is if I might want to differentiate, I might want to make a bigger difference between these two and this one. Or let's see here, maybe I should differentiate them by, so we have some data that we want to save that is more dynamic than the other one, and one that is more static. How can I explain this? Implementation detail. Activity. Affects environment in two different ways, I suppose. Dynamic and static. Or example here for dynamic is or does this make sense? Basically what I'm trying to say here is that we have like dynamic interactions, that is water for instance. We have something running through water, and we care about, we want to animate some activity given those or that information. So I would guess that is more dynamic. We have grass as well, or foliage. We want to bend it when something is running through it, but then we want to bend it back, like reset it to how it previously was. But if we take a look at mud or snow or something like that, we don't want to revert to something. We just want to, we want the activity to be static, basically. So maybe it's not more about how the activity affects it, it's more about if the environment is static, or if it reverts, or if it doesn't. So distance to ground and a timestamp. Can we do something cool with that? Okay, what if we just focus on the easiest one first? So that would be the static one, I suppose. So environment that doesn't revert. How do I wanna? Can I put this in a more understandable way? Environment can Yo, what's up, the Gaming Zombie? Good to see you're still working on the game. Any YouTube videos of your progress anytime soon? It's been a while since your last one. Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, it has been. But I'm planning on releasing a few next year. Or that's the goal, at least. Maybe. Let's see here. I mean, it would be very easy if we keep this data. We remove this one, so we keep this data, and this is for our. This is all the data we want for the dynamic activity, if that makes sense. So we have something that moves in a direction with a strength, and it moves in this height span from min to max. And then we reset this one between each. Could we get some cool data from that? I would love to render that one as well, I think. That would be very cool. How could we render it, though? Just debug it. That would be very cool. And I think it would be easy to do as well. We could just do. We would have to reset the. We would have to reset the texture between each frame, but that's okay. Height max, we would just do it like this. Height min, we would just do it like this. Direction and strength, we would pretty much just do it like this. That's awesome to hear. I love your videos so much. Thank you, appreciate it, man. And I saw that you started making YouTube shorts, and those are good as well. Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, I started making shorts to slowly but surely get into the video editing part again. It's just that, yeah, I really haven't had the time to work on the game and make long videos this year. But hopefully, or I'm gonna do my best to make time next year so I can do some videos as well. Because I really enjoy making explanatory videos. Okay, so maybe that's what we want to do. So we want to have a we don't care about timestamp in that case. So activity texture data version, let's save this one, and then we do activity texture data version 0.2. So I would really like to, I wonder if this is a good way to do it, but if we split up activity data in two different types, we have dynamic activity data. And dynamic activity data, that's the data we just care about if it's visible on screen, and we just want to update it if it's close to being visible on the screen. And then we have static activity data, which we want to update all the time. And so dynamic activity data will help us create ripples in water. It will help us create bending of grass and stuff like that, while the static activity data will help us deform snow or mud and keep that snow and mud deformed as time goes on. Pretty much. Yo, what's up? Good morning, Cynic. I guess I guess this is how we're gonna do it. We can at least try it out and move forward and then see shortcomings and stuff like that. So dynamic activity data, direction straight. That's when we want to have all of these. And then I wonder, we don't care about timestamp here. Static activity data. But okay, so if we go static activity data, we do I don't know about this one just yet. I wonder if like height or distance to ground. If we want latest distance to ground and smallest distance to ground, and save those at all times. Yeah, what's up, Puka? Made an app yesterday to play TTS in my head when a Twitch channel on my list goes live. Play text to speech in my head. How does that work? So we can start with this one. We'll get to this one soon. This one will affect non-regenerative environment. This will affect regenerative environment. I still don't know. I think this is pretty good though. So activity output. Okay, so we do velocity float 4 here. Float 3, right? Oh yeah, it's so what we want to do here in this one is we have a vector 3 velocity. We want to, so it's actually a float 3, so 32 times 3 bits. We want to pack it into 2 bytes. Size in 1 byte, and yeah. Puka through my headphones. Yeah, that makes total sense. That or makes more sense. Temporarily, I'm using the free Stream Elements TTS API that sends you back MP3 with the text you send. Okay, sounds nice. Sounds nice. So here, BA, here we want to return float 4 0 0 calculate. In fact, do I want to be crystal clear here as well? Color mask R. Yeah, we had some problem with this logic as well, didn't we? I think we limit ourselves to, let's take a look, blend up 1. We limit ourselves to DirectX 11.1. It feels a little bit what year are we looking for here? .1. But can I get release date? Yeah, I'm okay with that. I think. So height min, we do blend operation minimum. We only write to R, and we do V here. I think we wanna, yeah, we wanna inverse. We wanna change these as well. We're gonna make this a little bit cleaner. Activity dynamic output or something. We'll get to it. Color mask B and A. We don't care about blend up min here. We just want to do, I think here we just want to do blend with 1 0. Can we do it like that? Blend. Yeah, let's spell it out instead. So here we want to do 1, 0. So this one should always just override destination and don't take into account what we have in destination at all. And I wonder if let's keep this one here. So activity terrain, activity data. Basically, I want to terrain patch. I want to do this repackage down in the shader. Fuck, can we do signed angle util math? I pretty much want to do this. So we want to take an angle, or we want to take a velocity in 3D. We want to limit it to the XZ plane. Do we want to limit it to the XZ plane? We're definitely gonna need more data. If we don't limit it to the XZ plane, we're gonna need more. We're gonna need more memory to store all this information, I think. Yeah, so for now, I'm gonna have to add some constraints. yeah, we're gonna have to add some constraints. So basically what I want to do is, when we store this 3D velocity vector in our texture, we want to constrain it to 2D space, so we care about X and Z plane, the X and Z plane, and also we want to truncate it in such a way that we can store it in a byte. So we're basically gonna have to encode it as a we can represent, sorry about that, we can represent 256 different rotations around the up vector in the XZ plane. And that's basically what we do here. We get a signed angle. Instead of having it between minus 180 and 180, we change it to between 0 and 360. And then we do, so then we get our angle, we divide it by 360 and multiply it by 255, and that's our byte value. This time around, we want to do this work on the GPU or in a shader instead of on the CPU. And I don't know about this signed angle HLSL. Do we have anything like this without a reference plane? Yeah. Actually, Yeah, I guess cross product between, we would do between forward and the velocity, I guess. And then we do the dot product, 8 and 2 HSL. So I wonder if, fuck is this? Yeah, I pretty much just want, I'm okay with having a reference vector which we rotate around. HLSL, calculate sine angle around axis. This means the axis of rotation around which the angle is calculated is the cross product of the first and second vectors. Yeah, this is a little bit, so we actually do sine angle HLSL. So yeah, we pretty much do this, I think. Let's try this one, see what we get. Cynic, been working on a game myself, scrapped the one I worked on before, too much work, want to release something simpler. Nice to hear. Not the scrapping part, but yeah, I totally get that mindset, been there myself. But do you have anything to share so far? I have it on Steam, can send a dev key, yeah. Might be interested in that. It's not released on Steam in any way you can find it. Need dev key to play. Yeah, I understand. So let's see if we can implement this one and see if it's the correct way to do this. I'm having high hopes in this one. So I want to do SYS though. Do we have length? And I will do cross v1 v2 float c is equal to dot v1 v2, and then we'll return a time 2 sc here. So we get between minus 180 and 180. So what we want to do then is activity output yeah, we want to output this as... I wonder if we need to do something special here as well, because we don't want to... We want to work with this as data. But anyway, I wonder when we output this one, we probably want to output it as a value between 0 and 1. So let's just do float angle is equal to signed angle between float 3 0 0 1 and float 3 velocity dot x 0 velocity dot z. I wonder if we can do it like this. Float 3 velocity constrained. So like this. Angle is equal to, and then we want to do a we want to do this. So when we output the angle, then we do one sec. We get within a range of minus pi and pi. So we want to do pi plus angle here, I think. So what we want to finally what we want to output here is angle divided by 2 times pi. And that's about it, I think. And finally, we also want to output the length of this one. But as a value between 0 and 1 eventually. So we need to add max velocity we care about and minimum velocity we care about. Yo, what's up, Harukanen? I have no idea. Let's see. We do it as a define. Cynic sent on Discord. Oh, nice. I will take a look if I get the time. If it would optimize that, so what are we talking about? But it should be okay like this. Definitely. But as for the velocity, oh, if it would optimize this one. I don't know what the difference would be if this one was marked constant, or if it was defined as it is now, or if it was a variable. I don't know. But basically here as well we want to do inverse lerp between x, y and length of velocity constraint, pretty much. So we want to take this value, we want to transform it or normalize to a 0-1 range. But these two, I don't know what settings I want to use for these two. So that's why I'm thinking about doing... We have velocity here. We need this one as well. The min and max height here, I think. Min height, max height. Yeah, so we're gonna do float to velocity range, float to height range, inverse lerp 0-1. Yeah, we can do it with bounds as well. That's beautiful. So we do inverse lerp height range, height range, and here we do velocity range. 2π is actually another constant called tau. Yeah, that's true. Rings a bell. But I don't think we have it defined right now. Pi, Unity, HLSL. I want to check. Do we have Pi in here? It's actually MPi, isn't it? Ah, fuck it. We use our own definition and we don't define tau currently. Velocity range, height range. I would love to be able to do all of these in one pass, but I don't think you can. I don't think you can define blend. Let's see here. HLSL different blend op per channel. Or define blend op per channel mask. Ah, fuck it. I don't even know how that would. A color mask. I have no idea how that would look, but yeah, let's do it with a triple pass instead. Yeah. Okay, something like this. Then I want to draw this now. What do we have? Min height, max height. Yeah, so this is how we did it previously. Activity data direction. Yeah, let's do. Get terrain activity data from texture. Data. Our height boundary RG. Yeah, that's good. Height boundary, direction, and strength. Height boundary, let's do, so terrain activity data direction is equal to rotate around axis, angle V axis, rotate around axis, angle we want to do data dot b times 2.0 times pi, and we want to rotate float 3001 around float 3010. And that's the direction we get. So our direction in data B is a value between 0 and 1. It explains how much we rotate around up, or how much we rotate forward around up. So I think we want to do it like this. Should be normalized, so we don't care about that. Terrain activity data strength is equal to, and this is where we want height range and stuff like that again. But we could also height, yeah, we could just have these between 0 and 1 at this point, I think. Yeah. So here we do data dot A, and that's about it. Now we have height, boundary, direction, and strength for this one. So then in terrain activity, debug shader, we do height, mean, color. Let's hide that one. Direction color, we do activity data, direction. Times 2 minus 1. Yeah, I don't think we need to do this anymore. So we just do this. Tangent to world times 0.5, 0.51. Because this one is actually in -1 and 1 range right now. So direction color. Okay, let's see if this works now. So we should output this, this, and this. Oh, do we have an error, by the way? Activity output. Yeah, we want to fix that one. Derek, hey, did your mic get muted? Thank you, it did. But it's not... I didn't say that much. I'm just wondering here... how we want to handle... If we have a strength of 0, we probably want to do... So here we run downwards, here we run to the left. So yeah, we don't have a difference between right and left. They don't... Our signed angle doesn't really work, so I guess it's... it's this one that doesn't work, which is unfortunate. So signed angle between forward and velocity constraint. Velocity constraint is just, we remove the y direction of velocity, so just xz. If we also normalize this one, I don't think that would... Signed angle would make a difference. So what do we do in signed angle? We do cross product between these two and then the length of it. Then we do the dot product between them. In fact, let's normalize. We're doing cross product and then length. We still don't have a difference between these two. That sucks. One sec. Could it be... No. If angle is bigger than 0, otherwise... BA, and then I just output red. Yeah, we want to output to blue. So we should be getting 1. If the angle is above 0. Yeah, we're only getting positive angles at all times. That's not good. So yeah, I'm definitely misunderstanding something here. Ah, what the fuck? Let me do this as well. So I just want to output 1 if the angle is bigger than 0, black otherwise. White, white. Yeah, there we go. We still only output positive angles here, which means that signed angle here doesn't really work. And I don't know why, because to be honest, I don't fully understand the math we're doing here. Oh. Nah. But I mean, doesn't this mean that we don't get... The resulting angle will range from 0 to pi. Okay, let's just do it like this. Signed angle between two vectors. Right-handed, let's take a look at left-hand rule. From VA to VB, so a ton. Is this dot product? Because then okay. So what we would like to do this then is signed angle V1, V2. So we want to do from VA to VB, because then we have the same. I want to define it similarly to this one. So from to, and then we do float 3. What do we call this one here? Axis. So here we have S is equal to VB VA, VB VA, so the cross product between those two, and then the dot product between that one, and so it's pretty much right. Cross VBVA dot product VN, and then we do VAVB, VAVB, and that's C, and then we do A102 SC, which is from minus. Okay, let's try this then. So now we have an axis as well. I like that. And here I want to do float 3 0 1 0. Would probably want to do so this assumption. So now I just assume that this one is normalized before we send it in, but I mean the name pretty much suggests that it should have a length of 1, so no reason to normalize it. White, and here we go, black and white. Okay, I think that's good. So let's take a look. Currently looking, so this is forward, so we have negative on this one and positive on this one. We want to do fuck, I think I want to do, we want positive on this one, right? So we're doing right-handed actually. So it all comes down to whichever we do first here. So let's do V1, V2 here. And then let's remove this one and do this one again. Oh no, what did I do? Forgot to change this one. Activity data. Direction color. Fuck, don't like this. Pink, pink, what the fuck? Sine angle we should be getting between minus pi and pi. Yeah, we might want to add 2 times pi here. Hopefully that's the problem. So if we have 100 minus 180, or yeah, 360, yeah, there we go. So we have, and this is forward, I hope. Character, yes. So if we run here, and then we get this, beautiful. Yes, okay, nice. So running forward gives us green, right, pink, left this one, and then we have purple here. Okay, very nice. So now we have the normal in, I mean, we have the normal in tangent space, but we can probably, we don't need to package it in tangent space, I don't think. It would be okay with it would be okay with the world space as well. And I think I also want to make it such that if we have a velocity of 0, we're just going to put it upwards. So we want to bring it, or when we visualize this, I want to do direction color. We're gonna do float 4, float 3, direction in TS is equal to this. And direction color, we're gonna do lerp between float 3, I think it's 0, 1. Direction in TS, and then activity data dot strength. So if we're closer to 0, we're gonna do I think it's like this. I want to do it. Now we're talking. Yeah, something like this. I hate the flickering here. But yeah. Okay, as for min and max, how does that look now? Yeah, currently we don't set activity output, we don't set height range or velocity range just yet. I wonder where we want to put this. So let's see. Terrain base. We have test RT. Command buffer. Terrain patch. Yeah, we want to make some activity material, data projection matrix, activity texture. This one we want to keep here, this one as well, but this one, I think we want to move this one to yeah, we want to move this one to terrain base, I'm pretty sure. And then we send it in here. Yeah, we want to clean this up a bit. Terrain base. But how? Monochroma, what's up, what's up? How's it going? It's going pretty good. Thanks for asking. How about you? Okay, so we're gonna do... I wonder how I want to structure this. Ground mesh, water mesh, height range. Fucking height range. Do we want this one here? Yeah, maybe we do. Okay, yeah, I get it. Activity material here. What bothers me here is yeah, we just use it here. So let's do activity material. I don't want to we only want to specify one of these. And we want to do it in terrain base. And then we just send it down. We set material property blocks. Data projection matrix. This one bothers me a bit as well. Let's see here. Okay, first of all, this one is both a so this is the view matrix and this is the projection matrix. We can probably clean this one up. We want the, but like the projection matrix here, this one is going to be the same. This one is going to be the same for all. For all terrain patches. So when we do set projection matrix here, we don't need to set this one every time we render. It's going to be the same. It's only the view matrix we want to set. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, MVP, so we transform it draw renderer yeah, we transform it from object to world space. And then we transform it from world space to view space. and it's view space that is very specific per per terrain patch. Yeah. I'm just wondering what I want to name this, but we might as well. We might as well keep this one, and then we do activity. Activity texture, and then activity texture view matrix is equal to and this one I probably want to set outside. This one as well. Terrain command buffer. Not entirely sure about keeping these here currently, but whatever. So in awake, I want to do terrain, command buffer, then we want to start this one as well. So terrain activity material. Generate. We can't actually do anything about these unless we generate first. So we're just gonna do yeah, we might as well activity material, terrain, activity material, material shader find, activity output. Like this, and then down here we do and I think we can change this one to minus. Let's see, what do we have? Minus, minus, plus, plus, minus, minus, plus, plus. Couldn't we change this one to 0.5 f times dimension plus delta? Right. Float, float. There we go. So we create the projection matrix here, the view matrix in per terrain patch. And also, so in the end, let's see here, terrain base. We have a method here called occupy entity. So what do we do here? Terrain subset, and then we call render here. I want to wait with this one. Let's see here. Fuck, is it here? I want to do it. Basically what I want to do here is I just want to add them to a list inside of the related terrain patch. We don't want to render it here just yet. Not too sure about this one just yet though. Occupy. Sunik, I know you answered this question before, but don't remember. Do you work with game development, or this as a hobby of yours? I would probably say this is part-time job for me. This, what I'm doing right now. The other half, I'm not doing any game dev on. I wanna batch this in a good way as well. We don't wanna. So we want to render per patch. So we don't want to render one entity in one patch and then switch to another patch and render that entity and so on. So I think the best way to do this is per entity we calculate a terrain subset like we do here, and then in terrain patches we add a list of entities we want to render here. But yeah, maybe that's the best option. Which means that the terrain patch is going to have to keep track of entities we want to render here. And I don't know if I want to keep that here or if I want to keep it here. So in terrain base we could have, I don't know what's best. Terrain patch. We need to set render target. We don't want to do this too often. We want to set view matrix. Projection matrix is the same. And then for every entity renderer, we render it. Set property block. Yeah, okay. So this is also something we just want to set in Awake, I think. Or Okay, let's start by cleaning up set property block, activity properties. Let's do this in entity, activity properties, material property block. Is it enough to set it here? No, we can't do it. Or can we? Entity runner, set property block. Yeah, we set it in the renderer. Yeah, we probably don't need this one here. Private material property block, activity properties. On awake we create a new, and then I wonder if we can do this here. Maybe. Entity. So then in dynamic, oh yeah, we want this one to be protected. So then in update we always set velocity here. That's good. And then we do occupy this, which hopefully means that we don't need to do this anymore. And also yeah, terrain patch. What do we have here? We have activity texture view matrix, private entity, list entity, activity entities. It still feels a little bit dirty to keep this one here, I think. I would probably like to have it in terrain base, honestly. Yeah. One sec, draw renderer. Can we do command buffer unity, draw renderer? I want it would be very nice if we could just do it with one draw renderer list instead of multiple draw renderer, but this one creating this one is, I don't think we can, all the related objects, we can't really describe them with either a renderer list description or renderer list params. Nah. Nah. So let's do it with draw renderer then. But I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't want activity entities here. I don't think I want this one here at all. Activity texture, view matrix. Yeah, so I want it to be something like this. Let's see what we have. Private render texture. I'm going to do public get private set terrain base, terrain command buffer, terrain activity material. Do I want to have an entities list here? We can probably fix this later on. Entity. So instead it's going to be public void add entity public void clear entities. So instead of render, what we call add entity instead. And do it like this. But then if we have it like that, we might as well. We can skip all of these then. I don't know. So terrain base, when we do late update, or actually, first of all, we have occupy with entity. What we do here then is we calculate the terrain subset, get all terrain patch indices, and here we do terrain patches. We don't do render, but we do dot entities dot add entity. So that's what we do in occupy. And then in late update, we want to do a lot of things. We want to execute command buffer, but before we do that, we want to fill it up. And finally, we want to fill it up basically. So let's see. So it's basically all of this. We want to do all of this here, but in a nice way. So set projection matrix. Yeah, we want to do terrain command buffer, set projection matrix, terrain projection matrix, and then we want to do for each terrain patch in terrain patches, I thought. Yeah. What we want to do here is terrain command buffer, set view matrix, terrain patch activity view matrix. We also want to do terrain command buffer, set render target, terrain patch activity texture. So in late update, we set the projection matrix for this command buffer. And then for each patch, we set the render target to be that activity texture. We set the view matrix to be that activity texture view matrix. And then we do for each entity in terrain patch dot entities, and then we do for each renderer entity renderer in entity dot renderers. Terrain command buffer draw renderer entity renderer, and then the material we want to use is terrain activity material. So we populate it a crazy amount here. Let's see if it still works. Yeah, we can remove this one then. And it doesn't, and we also have extremely bad performance. Yes. The fuck am I seeing here? Whoa, 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 whoa. Yes. Because we might want to do in terrain base. After this, we might want to do terrain patch dot entities dot clear. Right. Okay, now we're back with the performance, but we don't have we don't paint anything on the ground. I wonder why. So we call occupy entity. We do this and then we add the entity here. Yes, we might, this is one thing at least, we might want to go dimensions subdivided here. Anything else? Let's see if that's the issue. If that was the issue. Okay. I still think fucking what do we have? 500,000 vertices. It's a little bit crazy. But maybe. Yeah. Okay, but why do we not write to the texture with this setup instead? So in late update we do set projection matrix, terrain projection matrix, and this one is set to the correct matrix. Left, bottom, yes. And then for each terrain patch in terrain patches. Ooh, can we do it like this? Or do we need to? No, we should be able to. terrain command buffer, set render target terrain patch activity texture. Activity texture, and we set this one here. Resolution. And then we set view matrix. And then for each entity in terrain patch entities, for each entity renderer in entity renderers, draw renderer. Okay. I wonder if set projection, set view, set render target. I wonder if the problem is this one. Which makes me want to try and do fuck it, let's do it. Entity renderer dot property dot set property block entity dot prop activity something like this. so. Okay. Entity renderer set property block activity properties. Why do we need to set this one so every time we do yeah. So when we change this one, we want to set it again. Not a very big fan of that, but I mean, we could do it here. Otherwise we would need to loop through entities here, and then we loop through entities here as well. One sec. It's per renderer. Per render, I would set per material index. Yeah, we probably don't want to set this on. Yeah, we probably want to set this on the material instead. So per entity, so could we do terrain activity material dot set property or property but What bothers me, or like that we need to set this property block per renderer, but we're gonna render all the renderers. Actually, we're gonna render all the renderers using one material. This property should be the same. Ah, fuck me. Command buffer. What do we have? Set. Why don't we have something similar like this? Set compute int param. I would like to have something similar. Set global. Set instance multiplier. Like, I wonder, is this actually how we need to do it? Because that kinda sucks. Entity renderer set property block. For all of these renderers, we want to use the same material and the same velocity variable. So what the fuck? Material. Harry-O, if you want to set vector 4, you can use set compute float params. Yo, by the way. Okay, so it is this one, set compute float params, but does this one set it, but we need to have a compute shader here, right? But compute float params. But yeah, we need a compute shader. That's like, I would have hoped that we had something similar to this, but for a regular shader, because it feels weird to set the property block for each renderer when each render is going to be rendered using the same material and the same property we set in the property block. If it were draw mesh, if we would be doing a draw mesh instead of draw render, we could just define the property block here. So we could just do in draw mesh, we just had the entity.activity properties as the last keyword here, or last parameter or argument. But yeah, I don't know, maybe we can figure this out, but I have to run now. I still think it's a lot of things that are uncertain with this implementation, but I think we're moving in the correct direction. And what I mean is uncertain with this implementation, I think I'm still uncertain about what data we want and how we want it and when we want it. But yeah, hopefully we will converge toward a very nice result. But yeah, I gotta run. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. I appreciate it, and have a great rest of the day. Peace.